Same time, the DOJ dropped the news that it found the state to be in violation of that act for its treatment of people with mental illness. Federal attorneys sat down with Nebraskans.
That's right. They had a chance to hear firsthand what people have experienced and what they want to see changed. 1011's Bailey Bischoff was there to listen to those conversations and brings us this story tonight on 1011.
Madison Cole, we couldn't film inside the town hall, but I spoke to those who attended, including a familiar face who says the Department of Justice investigation and Tuesday's meeting gave her new hope for the future.
I mean, I was stunned, but at the same time, it was like all these flooding emotions just went through my mind and my heart started racing because I was just kind of like, oh my God. Someone's listening.
We spoke with Brenda May Stinson outside of the Region 5 Systems and Mental Health Association building Tuesday afternoon, just after a town hall with the Department of Justice on the state's mental health response wrapped up.
I felt heard.
Representatives from the DOJ hearing her story of being assaulted by her adult son with mental health and developmental disability diagnoses after she says he fell through the cracks in the state system. Cracks that came to light in a Department of Justice investigation launched in 2021.
It was like, oh my God. I knew it.
The DOJ announced in the town hall and in a press release this week, the state is violating the Americans with Disabilities Act by not providing adequate community-based mental health services and instead relying too much on institutions and day programs that segregate people with mental illnesses from the community. The news not a surprise to Edison McDonald, the executive director for ARC of Nebraska, which advocates for people with disabilities.
We've continued to warn the state that we were in violation of the Olmstead VLC decision for a long time and are glad to see the Department of Justice acknowledging that and taking action. It's far past time.
The letter from the DOJ to the state specifically says Nebraskans with serious mental illness should be served in the most integrated setting possible. McDonald says it's not happening.
It's horrific. It leaves people really feeling disconnected, and it leaves people really back almost to the institutional days when we would go and warehouse people away.
McDonald and a lot of people who spoke at the meeting say they believe this is due to a lack of funding, staffing, and red tape barriers for behavioral health providers and people seeking services. Sarah Bevins, who was there to share the story of her nephew Morgan, who recently died of suicide, says her family tried for years to get him help, but kept running into these roadblocks.
He was placed back out on the streets knowing that he was a homeless person and had no access to care.
She says she wants to see results, change from this investigation.
These people are here saying enough is enough. It's time to do something about this and stop just talking and take some action.
The DOJ says the state does have the programming it needs to comply with federal law, and they'll be taking steps to ensure it happens. Meanwhile, the state says since this investigation launched, they've already been making improvements and hope this situation will be resolved quickly.